Alright, finally doing it. What's well overdue is the review of my daily driver, which happens to be this Model S. So literally this is going to be the full ownership experience, what it's like owning the new refreshed design Model S for about 1.5 years now. Now my Model S is the 2021 refresh, and I received this in late fall of 2021. It is the long range, which means I'm able to get a range up to 405 miles with 100% battery. All this is thanks to the fact that I actually selected these wheels than those other performance wheels. These wheels are actually equipped with Pirelli P0 tires, which are actually due for a tire change. I'm about to schedule that right after this video. But these tires were able to last me up to 35,000 miles. As it looks like there still is 1,000 miles left, but I'm not going to stretch it. And these Aero wheels, in case you don't know, they do come off. And the cool thing about the Model S, they're still using the beefy, massive calipers right there. But the new ones, from my understanding, they're now painted red. But previously, they were default black, and they say Tesla on the side. I'm going to be talking about insurance costs, headaches I experienced with Tesla service, methods I used to align my own doors. 4 times taking this thing into service, I had to do it manually my own way to really get the results I wanted. Now, I did personally opt for the long range version because this is my daily driver. Oh, wait, this is popping out. This is probably because of me earlier just taking this thing off. There we go. You didn't see that. But this is the long range, not the plaid, which body design looks 100% identical to the plaid. The only way you could only tell the two apart is if you look in the back and you look for that plaid emblem, of course, and also that spoiler. I got the spoiler due to the fact that there just needed to be something back here. And this one is indeed made out of real carbon fiber. The cameras do look like they flicker on the camera, but that's just due to the FPS rate of this video camera I'm recording at. Though in real life, they did not flicker like this. Now, I do have additional custom elements, accessories to this, as I also have this cover, custom carbon fiber materials covering the cameras, as well as the side rearview mirrors. But no, for those that were wondering, I have not yet sold my Model S. Apparently, there's another Model S that was recently available in the market that I was getting DMs saying that I'm selling my Model S, or some of you guys assumed that was my Model S. It wasn't. I still own mine. Just, I guess somebody took the accessories I have on mine and the D-badging they done on my Tesla emblem, they put it on their car. So there's another person that actually went ahead and copied my Tesla, which I'm not complaining. Now, this is the early 2021 Tesla Model S, so I do not have the updated matrix headlights. But honestly, these are really bright and I have no complaints whatsoever. And these are also adapted lights, which means if you steer right or left, they'll actually shine to the left or right side of your steering wheel. Now, although this is the long range, since I do have those Aero wheels, I am able to get up to 405 mile range with 100% charge. But realistically, with the way I drive, the computer just tells me I'm able to reach up to 398 miles under 100% charge, which still isn't bad. Compared to the Lucid Air, this is a better value in terms of range. Now, even though this isn't the tri-motor plaid, it still is a dual motor all-wheel drive system, which allows this vehicle to get a 0-60 time below 3 seconds and a quarter mile time in 10.9 seconds, which, yes, this is no car you want to mess with. It will still kick the majority of vehicles' butts. I already slayed a Ferrari, an Aston Martin, a Bentley, and everything else is just mediocre, like Mustangs and stuff. There's no challenge, but this is a 4,500 pound vehicle, which means, and straight away, yes, this thing can definitely accelerate, and it does have Cheetah mode, just like the plaid. And recently, the long range did receive a firmware performance upgrade, as now there's a new top speed surpassing 155. Now it looks like you go 160. When it comes to overall handling, it's not the greatest. It's nearly 5,000 pounds, so a lot of weight, making quick turns. The body just wants to go straight. Not really the best handling vehicle, but it is indeed the quickest, especially for a daily driver. Now, a complaint that I do have, for a vehicle of this price, there is no sensor down here that you typically will find on a vehicle around this price tag. The only way to open up the cargo is via the app, the key fob, or just manually press the button back here. It has a lot of cargo space. I've done a couple of road trips with this thing already. It's just me and my girlfriend, and we're always able to put all of our luggage on this additional hidden compartment down here, as well as there, fit some in the front, and still have access to this massive space back here. And then privacy cover is standard. which continues this amazing Alcaterra interior that it matches from the ceiling onto the cover. And then back here you do have quick access to your foldable seats, which you have to manually push down. Another con thing I dislike about it, but you can fold them down by pushing these buttons. You just have to manually push. You also have additional compartments right here. They usually have like first aid kit stuff right here. Right now I just have hand warmers. And in here is typically where I keep the extra backup Tesla charger, as well as the other outlets I have for this thing, which does support CCS like Electrify America outlets and can fast charge that way as well. And also you have additional compartments right there. As we go ahead and close the cargo, I want to go ahead and talk about the phone, which is linked to this car and is technically my key fob. Now this car did came with 2 key fobs and 2 cards. So in total I did receive 4, but I primarily prefer using the app as my key due to the fact that I can just approach the vehicle and it simply just pops out, just like so. And then as I walk away, it does have the auto lock capability as well, which will beep or fold the mirrors, letting me know that the vehicle locked. So about this distance is when the vehicle will lock. So yeah, pretty responsive, but there has been time where my phone isn't communicating with the vehicle or the vehicle isn't communicating with the car. So I'm literally smashing the door handle until it opens up. So for iOS 16, Tesla now supports the widgets on the home screen. So I can literally monitor the battery life percentage of my car right here. But if I tap on this and allow the phone to unlock with Face ID, I can literally run the app right here. I have all the important controls, the capability to lock the car, defrost the windows if I want to, open the front, but I also can monitor all the cameras that the vehicle has, including monitor the inside of the vehicle. And I also have access to a microphone, which I could actually communicate, actually like disguise my voice like some type of Decepticon. But I also have the ability to fart if I want to freak somebody out, flash the high beams, or lights in general. But I also can monitor the battery life range, my range, as well as the battery life percentage. And I can control everything else, including the climate from this phone as well. So I can heat up my passenger seat, the steering wheel, or set the entire climate control right here. All free to use with no subscription. And if I want to go to the nitty-gritty stuff, if I long press on here, I could add additional controls I like to add shortcuts to. Now, a lot of people, I understand, they don't use the frunk. I actually do use the frunk, even though, yes, you manually have to open it up. I just love storing like either to-go orders in here, but I primarily just use this for my gym cargo equipment. But it is flimsy, it's not automatic. But, I mean, the more and more you use it, the more you have like a rhythm to utilize the frunk. Now, story time. The gaps on my Tesla were insane. This used to have been super crooked. There used to have been an unnecessary gap. This used to stick out. I took this thing to Tesla service 4 times. So all I did was this silver piece in front of the front doors and the rear doors. I used this tool with the socket to loosen it and just adjust it appropriately to line everything up. And as soon as everything seems right after closing the door, I would then just tighten it, and that's how I was able to slightly align my doors back to normal, preventing unnecessary gaps. So if you have door panels, gaps on your driver or passenger doors, this is the method I used, and it worked, and also allows the door to actually shut properly. I don't understand why Tesla wasn't able to actually do this at the service center. I had to literally take matters in my own hands to perfect it. But there you go. If you have the same problem, this is what you need. Now let's go ahead and talk about the inside. So the inside, I really do like this interior, especially from a driver point of view. Gotta mute that. As the interior literally looks something out of this world. Now I know this is not a luxury car, but it's somehow considered to be a luxury car. I really do like this interior. I like the wood, even though this is not real wood, but the texture is definitely unique. And then now that the yoke is optional, you can now settle with an actual steering wheel. But from my personal experience with the yoke, It's not that bad. I actually enjoy driving this thing because I'm able to see a lot of detail on the display right here. But the only thing that I don't like about these next new generation Tesla steering wheels is the no button, because everything is just taptic touchscreen. And I've actually have honked at people on accident on the highway, all because I was trying to adjust my autopilot speed. And I am not a huge fan that there's no horn in the center of the steering wheel. The horn is literally right there. Now, from my understanding, newer Teslas now have the horn in the center, but this one doesn't have it, nor some of the early ones. So, but just like the exterior of the car, I do have some accessories, and these are the accessories I do recommend. If you use AirPods and you have a 3D printer, 3D print like a AirPod stand. You could actually find these on Amazon. They're really cheap. These allow you to basically place your AirPods in the center of the Qi charger, so they can actually charge as you're driving. In addition to that, another accessory I do recommend is this clip mount right here, which is by Pro Clips USA. I have a link in the description down below. But this basically allows me to actually just simply rest my phone right here, so I can actually utilize Google Maps or Apple Maps instead of relying on Tesla navigation, or FaceTime somebody, as this does swivel, and you can pivot it to your own personal preference. It's super solid and minimum and blends in very well inside the interior of this car. And of course, this is my radar detector, another accessory I have in here. It's optional, but since this car can easily go to 100 miles per hour, I'd rather be safe, and yeah, that's why I have a radar detector in this thing. Saved my butt multiple times. And in case you're wondering, this is the Passport Max. Now, the center console, it's all hollow. You can store so much stuff in here. This is another accessory I have, but it's super deep in there. I have like gaming controllers in there. I have this, which I'll also have in the video description down below. This is optional. It's an accessory I purchased. It just allows me to store more stuff in here. Center armrest is held together magnetically. And then of course, if you open this up, it gives you access to more storage. But if you like to hide it, you can just close it all like so, or just unveil the cup holders. But interior wise, in the long range, there's not really much to talk about. You do get premium paddles right here for the brake and the acceleration pedal. The massive screen right here, which does support some games. Newer Teslas are compatible to use Steam, which I'm disappointed in. You see the new Model S's with the new taillights, they have 16 gigs of RAM in their computer. This one I believe has 8 or 9, which 16 gigs is required for Steam to actually work on the Model S, which is a huge downer because I originally purchased this car to be able to play The Witcher because that's what it was advertised to do. Now Tesla does offer a retrofit to actually put the new computer in the 2021 Model S's, but Ryan Shaw requested this, but they were billing him about $2,100 for something that should have been free, due to the fact that this was what was advertised at that time during the pre-production and the pre-orders of the Model S refresh. So I'm personally upset about this, that I'm unable to play Steam on my computer, but I do have access to Cuphead, Fallout Shelter, which that's just a mobile game. And of course, in theater mode, you do have Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, basically all the essentials except for YouTube TV. And then this vehicle continues to get updates because now I'm actually able to link my Apple Music to this thing, where previously it was just Sirius XM, radio, or Tesla streaming. It's just a shame you don't have access to Elon Musk playlist. And then my turn signals, even though there's no blind spot markers on my mirror, but if I turn my signal, it gives me a little preview of my blind spot right here to both right and left side. And the turn signals are able to automatically disengage as soon as you automatically switch lanes. The car is smart enough to detect that. But aside from that, there's not really much else to talk about in the driver's seat other than the really nice glass roof right here, which is nicely tinted, doesn't get hot or anything like that. And then the sun visors are held together magnetically. Yeah. Again, more of that sway leather texture all throughout the roof lining of this vehicle, which from my understanding, this stuff is expensive, but it's standard for the Model S. But yeah, this interior definitely is a less is more interior. And the way you shift gears, of course, you just move the car forward to go forward, back to go reverse, or press and hold for park. But there is manual buttons down here you can override if you actually keep spamming it while putting your foot on the brake. This will engage the manual buttons down here, which is not just your hazard, park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then the doors, to exit, you just tap the little car door icon right here. It's like touch sensor, but I've seen people actually use the emergency latch sometimes, especially my passengers when they're in here for the first time, but you just simply tap on here. Now moving along to the back seats. Unfortunately, one more time, for a premium car, you have to manually clamp the seats back up. But once you're back here, I do have 5% tints on the rear seats, so it's kind of darker back here. I have plenty of headspace, and I'm 5'8", so taller passengers. I have had my friends who's 6'4" back here. They were able to sit here fine somehow. So there's plenty of space back here for even taller folks. And yes, you do have like store away hooks right here to continue that minimalistic look. But back here, I do have plenty of space. There is also this third compartment right here that folds down, which unveils cup holders, as well as a little cubby area right here to store stuff, like wires and stuff you just want to hide away. Now you do have this back screen back here for the rear passengers, which allows you to watch movies, YouTube, and etc. You can also control the audio system from here, pause and play, as well as turn on your heated seats. No ventilated seats, unfortunately. The driver and passenger seats are ventilated and heated. And if you have little ones back here, you want to lock the display, you can totally do so on the main display, as well as control everything from that screen on this screen, or from the main display right there. And there is 2 additional USB-C ports back here, as well as 2 more back there, and a USB drive right there that all support data. So if you want to add storage to your dash cam, you can totally do so with Tesla Secure Sentry mode. But other than that, there's not really much I could talk about back here other than the seats are uniquely designed. There's space. Seats look like sci-fi. Seats, to be honest, I belong on a rocket ship. But when it comes to long road trips, the seats, in my opinion, do become uncomfortable. Usually around the 3-hour mark is when I just can't stand. I have to get out and stretch. But that same can be said to any other car. But these seats, unlike my F-150 Raptor, that seat design compared to this, I will choose the Raptor design over this. This, again, I don't know, it just feels slightly too firm. And don't get me started about the back seat. The back seat, I can't sit back here for road trips. Anything longer than 2 hours or an hour and a half, I'm dead. That's just my opinion, and something that you should probably look out for if you're buying one. From my experience, ownership experience, the back seats are the worst. But I have been in worse vehicles, but this is not comfy compared to Benz or BMW. Now, in terms of horror stories, I have had a situation where my door handles would not open, would not let me get in my vehicle. I had to literally jump from the passenger side and pull the emergency release latch just to physically open up the door, as the animation, the touchscreen sensor wasn't responding. It was a headache, but I did get a hold of Tesla service, and they sent a mobile service van to my car, and they repair it right there on the spot. And apparently the issue was I just happened to be one of the lucky folks who got a full C lock mechanism on my door, so it was prone to fail. But after they replaced it, I never experienced this problem anymore. Now, in terms of road trips, I am very confident in taking this car cross country if I have to. I've drove all over California, from Los Angeles all the way up to Humboldt, the real NorCal. And all the charging ports were super reliable. And some charging stations from Tesla, they actually have a custom lounge, a VIP lounge that allows you to charge your vehicle. Your car will have access to a PIN code to have access to this lounge. And literally they have vending machines, nice bathrooms, a nice place to hang out, free Wi-Fi, and some even have like a little coffee shop inside them. These are really cool, and I'm sure there's more to come, because word has it in Los Angeles there's going to be one with a drive-in movie theater, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, Tesla chargers are pretty awesome compared to other third parties. They're always reliable. Now, my Model S can actually receive 250 kilowatts, and out of all the vehicles I've driven that are EV that could take a high outage, this one actually is more consistent in receiving a high wattage compared to others that claim to do 350, but in reality they only do like 100 or 99. Every time I need to charge this vehicle back to 80 or 90%, it usually takes 30 to 35 minutes guaranteed. And the safety features that this vehicle has are top notch because, true story, somebody got a hold of my car and mistaken the brake pedal for the accelerator, and the vehicle went 0 to 60 in 3 seconds in my garage, and the vehicle collision prevention slammed on the brakes super hard, barely kissed the wall, and prevented a catastrophic car accident in my garage. So yeah, Tesla's legit when it comes to safety features. But when it comes to their service, I question them sometimes. So long story short, my sidewall got punctured due to road debris that I happened to hit. I had to get my rear tire fixed. I took it to Tesla to get the stock OEM because these Pirellis were hard to find. They were the only ones that had it. Dropped it off. I explained to them that my wheels are scattered, but the Tesla tech was going off the VIN number and supposedly off their information saying that they're identical. So who do I argue? I let them do it. I received my tire and they're stretched out because the tires were incorrect. They gave me two 55/45s when my rears were two 85s 40. And then not only that, I brought it back. They gave me the correct tire, but it wasn't the correct brand. And the technician advised me that it doesn't matter running mixed match tires, even though I literally show them a Google post of the manufacturer not recommending this. And I'm telling them, give me the Pirellis, please. And then sooner or later, they gave me the Pirellis, apologized, and I was off my day. That should have been a free tire in my opinion. But just give me an idea how much of a headache it is. And management was awful. Then as for insurance, the Model S is really expensive. And I have an excellent elite driving history or score or whatever the insurance industry usually rate drivers. Haven't had an accident, haven't had a ticket in X amount of years. And out of all of them, Tesla insurance is the cheapest because as soon as I insured my Model S compared to my Model Y, my Model Y was reasonably priced, but my Model S literally is the most expensive car on my insurance policy. It literally is 2 times or 3 times more than my other vehicles. I had AAA, it was cheap the first month, and then after the policy renewed, it was ridiculously expensive, so I then moved on to Nationwide. Same story, policy was good until the 6-month term ended, and then they increased the price of my Model S. So I went back to Tesla insurance, and Tesla insurance is right now where I'm at. And currently here in California, that's the cheapest place for insuring a long-range Model S from my experience. Was a driver with excellent driving history. So this car really just has its pros and cons. For a daily driver, I have no complaints. Autopilot's fantastic. Although I don't trust it, it is really convenient, especially in a control environment, like when traffic is just moving all smoothly and stuff. And another thing about this car is it's just not bad looking. It's definitely a lot better than other Teslas, I will say, especially people that race out Model 3s. I don't know why, but then again, you do you. This thing looks classy. And for being Tesla's flagship, I kind of understand why this is the sweet spot in terms of range, performance, creature comfort, but it's no luxury car at the end of the day. The backseats are just terrible in my opinion, but 34,000 miles, 0 oil change, only maintenance is tires, that's not bad. And the amount of money I saved on fuel, it's also a bonus. My Raptor cost me about $120 to $180 to fuel up. This thing, about 45 cents per kilowatt. The battery is about 98 kilowatts. Do the math, there you go. Spending like a quarter of that to take me A to Z. Although I am losing the truck capabilities though, but I don't need them every day. There you guys have it. If you guys enjoyed, if you're planning on buying a Tesla, make sure you use the referral code. This way you could earn some loot box points, which you could redeem for like free supercharging credits. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more, there's 2 other videos right there revolving around EVs. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.